And welcome back to the Jails TV. It's myself, Si, and Jay here. And Rangers have just dropped 2 points at Fir Park, Motherwell. Disappointing, Jay.
Yeah, I mean, we deserve nothing really from that game. To be honest, like we were shambolic. We lacked any real, I don't know, urgency from our play. We just let them have the ball and they played around us. I felt like we were a yard off it constantly. Um, and it just wasn't a good showing. And it's disappointing, especially because we got that good start. We got the goal within first 5-6 minutes, and then from then onwards, like we didn't really create much at all. Obviously, Schmidt had that big chance, but other than that, it was just. But even when they went down to 10 men, still a 10 men Motherwell side still controlled the ball against us. You know,
Yeah.
like we still struggled to take control of that game, and it was just a poor showing from everyone. But again, we had two massive games, right, away games before the Hearts game, and we've dropped points in both of them. But it's like we could have lost them easily. Like there would have been no complaints had we lost today. There would have been no complaints had we lost against Hibs because they were the better team, in both of those games. So what are we doing? Like why is it that we're struggling to take control of these massive games at this point in the season, the business point of the season now, where we need to be winning games and we keep dropping points, and
Yeah.
it's not good enough.
Well, I did say that we all said that the team selection was incredible. What I seen, another big game. We picked the wrong players. The whole first half, I kept saying to Lewis, we won't make a substitute until 63 minutes. We made a substitute in 62 minutes, 50 seconds. Because that's what they do when they go to these, when the managers go to their coaching badges, they get told to make your first sub in 65 minutes, or just before that. And we continued, we scored a good goal, and I thought it was a great goal. But after that, the only team that looked like they wanted to win the game was Motherwell. All credit to them. I thought they played fantastic. Great counter-attacking football from them, and great attacking football at times because they dominated parts of the game. They looked more lively. They looked more aggressive. And Rangers sat very deep, almost as if we were sent out not to lose the game tonight. That's how I feel. I feel the
But
manager got it wrong.
I feel like those are the tactics constantly when we play
Big games.
teams. It's always about trying not to lose games rather than getting at them. That's the way I feel constantly. They go down to 10 men. How are we not having control over a game when they're down to 10 men? Instead of actually trying to go and get the second goal, he then brings. I mean, Gassama should have come off anyway. Like I don't know how he lasted that long, but I would have then wanted like an Ant-Man to come on or Scovolson or someone like that. But then we bring on Fernandez, and it's like we're going three at the back and we're just going to try and hold out. That's all well and good if you can hold out, but if you don't, it's such a big risk to take. I'd rather go and if we're going to drop points, I'd rather do it by actually putting up a fight and going and trying to kill the game off. And then
Yeah,
we were just sitting
it was
ducks waiting
madness.
for them to score, really, and it was
It was
just
almost, when we brought on Fernandez, it was almost like panic. We should have been, with them go down to 10 men, we should have been looking to dominate the game, but we didn't dominate at any point. We didn't look like scoring that often. But Shermiti, he does a lot of work off the ball and he does a lot of work winning the ball, but he's not a goal scorer. He's not a finisher. We brought 4 players in January that we badly needed, and only one of them started. We spoke about it earlier, but I find that incredible.
yeah. I mean, I don't understand it. I don't understand why we're reverting back to a front three that. For me, I mean, Mikey Moore's the only one in that front three that deserves to play.
And
The other
they
two,
kicked him off the park,
yeah,
and
but
it worked.
he was the one danger. First half he was quiet, but then he moved over to that right hand side, and I felt like he was more dangerous from that side today. But Gassama, he doesn't do anything. There were times in that game where Magoma had the ball on the left hand side, and he just sort of stood there waiting for something to happen. He's not asking for the ball. He's not making runs in behind trying to stretch the defense. He just stood there. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like do something. Like make a running behind so you can at least create some space for the midfielders to play in. But every time it was just stand there, wait for something to happen, which meant Motherwell could push up and they could win the ball constantly in our half, and we couldn't get out because there was no out ball.
The other thing as well, we played
Out on his own.
we played a style of football that was so deep that we don't normally play, and we looked lost. And and our attack is for the first maybe 50 minutes of the game. Rangers' attack was non-existent. That chance that Shermiti's got the double done. You can't keep missing chances like that. I don't know how long we persevere with him. We bought the big German boy Nadiri, and he comes on far too late in the game.
Yeah.
Scott Wilson didn't feature at all.
Romans
didn't feature at all.
I don't understand it. How is Romans not playing a part in this game?
My biggest disappointment tonight is the fact that it was so predictable before the game started. We could see it. Everyone could see it. If you look at social media, everybody could see before the game that was the wrong team he selected.
It's mad. We can see it, but we can just play it out in our minds exactly how that game was going to go, and it went how I thought it was going to go. You know, we got a goal which I didn't expect us to get. You know, from our first real good attack. But that's when you want your team to push on. You know, that's when you want your team to push on. But we didn't, and we were very lucky to go in 1-0 at half time.
What was added on 4 minutes? Was it 4 minutes?
Maybe
6.
At the
6 minutes. 6 minutes, right. So see with the last 6 minutes, Motherwell had about 3 chances and Rangers had 1, I think. They wanted to win that game, and I wouldn't grudge them if they had won it. I thought they had a better attitude and they were more hungry. They went for it.
I think that's it. It's the attitude. Like, they were hungry. They were after us. They were hunting. Even when they had 10 men, they were working hard. We looked lost. We looked like lethargic. We looked like, you know, we were a bunch of strangers playing together, and passes weren't you know, reaching its target, and there was no fluidity in our attack. It was all a bit stop start, and it was just poor. But on the other side, they had that fluidity. They had that, you know, they created some chances, and considering, but if you look at the quality from the two sides, on paper, we should easily be controlling that game. But that manager is getting them players to play way above the levels that I thought they could play.
Oh yeah, all credit when due with their manager and their players. 100% effort from them. However, with 20 minutes to go, the results are going our way. You're thinking Rangers are going to hit them with everything. The support's right behind the team. Everything's going for us. You think they would be doing everything they can to get that second goal, and no getting that second goal, Motherwell were always going to be a danger of equalising. And after they did, I actually thought they were going to get a second goal, I'll be honest.
Yeah,
and as I said, I wouldn't grudge it.
The likely team to score after they got that goal would have been them, you know, because we weren't really creating anything. We had one half chance maybe from the corner where it sort of went across the goal, and we were just desperate for someone to tap it in. But other than that, we didn't create anything. There was no clear cut chance. We weren't making the keeper work. You know, it was just.
It was playing not to lose, and giving Motherwell far too much respect, and they took advantage of that.
We keep giving these teams respect. You know, like, let's go, let's play, let's take it to them. Let's show why we should be in this title race. For me, right, you know, and you probably think it's premature for me to say this. I cannot see this team winning this title, performing like that, and going into these big games with that attitude. I can't see it. I can't see how this team would go on to win the title. You know?
I still think there'll be points dropped for other teams on the way in, and it'll be close.
I just can't see us. I feel like when the pressure was off, when we were like 14, 12 points behind or whatever, we were grinding out wins and we were doing well and everything was fine. As soon as the pressure is on, where we feel like we can get there, we can get to the top spot, we can win this league. It's like they fucking shit it. Their attitude, like, is completely different. They get nervous.
I don't disagree with that, but I would say that it looked as if they were set up and put out to not lose the game. They weren't put out there to score 3 and 4 goals. That's for sure.
That's a concern in itself, because is Danny Rowe, you know, is the way that he's approaching this the right way to approach it? Is he just trying to?
No.
These tough
to answer your question,
draw the away games or win the home games. But in this league, you can't. You have to win every game, because.
Are we going to do that? I thought Hearts were quite poor at the midweek there, but they got a result. All credit to them. Are we going to do that against Hearts? Play not to lose. Give them too much respect. I don't understand how we could be playing so well in the last few weeks or last few months, but still have the negative attitude that we had tonight. I thought tonight was a marker, especially when you get the early goal.
But this is it. Like, I kind of feel like we're not in the title race, because I feel like we've seen this story time and time again. It's like the Motherwell game against under Phil Clement when we lost 2-1 at home. It's like that. It feels like that. It feels like, you know, we get that positivity, we get that hope, and then we just get fucking crushed. And that's what it feels like right now. We're just getting crushed time and time again. They go and score a freaking late goal, which is what they seem to be doing constantly under Martin O'Neill. And
They
then their
find ways to
lonely
win.
player
Yeah.
goes and scores a late goal against us. It's like we're destined not to win this title. That's how it feels for me anyway. Like things like that are happening and they're going to constantly happen. How, like
We're going to have to get we're going to have to get
football
that
gods
together
are
quite
against us.
quick because we need to reply on Sunday. We've got Hearts. I still think we're in the title race, but we're not the favourites now, and that'll change again. I do think that the other teams will take points off each other, but we can't keep making these mistakes. The Hibs game should have been the last major one like that. However, I don't think at any point in the game, even when we were 1-0 up, I don't think at any point in the game we look comfortable.
We don't look comfortable. We had no control over that game whatsoever. No control, even when they had 10 men, no control. And that's the biggest worry for me. We can drop points right in the title race. It's going to happen, but it's the manner in which you drop points. We cannot keep performing like that in away games. I thought that Hibs would have been, an anomaly, and it would have been like, just one of those things that happened after a tough match away at Porto. But the fact that we've again played so poorly in another game, tough away game, it's worrying, massively worrying. And we got a big game on Sunday, but I feel like what a missed opportunity. Had we won tonight, the atmosphere and everyone would have been buzzing going into that game. Now everything feels a bit flat.
That's how I feel. It's almost as if I don't think they understand sometimes that the managers when they come into Scottish football how important it is that basically you should be playing to win every game. I don't know if we played to win that tonight. I just think we played not to lose it. I can't understand it.
You saw that with the lineup though. That lineup was try and stay in the game
No
and
excuses.
see what happens. But you can't sign these players in January and only start one of them in a game like this, especially once we've seen the quality. When Romans came on against Killy and then his game against Queen's Park, you see the quality in there, right, going forward. That's the sort of player that you bring him on, and that could push their fullback back 20 yards. That pushes their team back 20 yards because he's so direct when he goes forward. But when he does go forward, he can pick a player out in the box. He has that creativity.
And at the same time, how many times does Shermeet need to flop before we realise this project? Because that is a project, a very expensive one, that isn't working. It might work at another club, but the Shermeet one for me, he runs himself into the ground. He does his best, but he's not a goal scorer, and he's not a real threat up front at times. We've just bought a striker. We bought a striker, but we play him to the last 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, and the chance that Shermeet missed, I mean, you have got to be scoring that. He just hits it straight at the goalkeeper.
He'll miss him again. He'll miss him again when it comes up in a couple of weeks. When the chances happen again, he'll keep missing him.
Yeah, because he's not a goal scorer, and we're gonna need to get Nadiri playing. I don't want to see him dropped anymore this season. We're going into a period now where we're going to be playing one game a week, right? I want Nadiri starting. There's absolutely no reason why he shouldn't start games for us. I want to see Scott Olsen on the right. I want to see Ant-Man on the left. I would like to see more in the 10. I want to see that front four.
Yeah, I agree, but I don't know what the manager was thinking tonight. I really don't. I don't understand it. He's got it right in a lot of occasions, but so many times when he gets it wrong, he's right up to the halfway, 60 minutes usually. He changes it, we win games or whatever. But we can't keep selecting the wrong team. We were crying out for these players to come into the club. They've came in. They've got to be ready. I mean, surely they're ready to play.
I mean, but they've been playing games. Like Scott Olsen's been getting minutes now. He's starting to sharpen up, and then he gfor the entire game today. I just don't understand it, especially when you've got someone like Samuel on the pitch for how long was he on the pitch for, like 75 minutes, something like that, and he was piss poor the whole game. There was not a moment in that game where he thought, "Oh, that was he did well there." It was like everything he was doing. I mean, he was completely invisible for most of it. He wasn't taking part. And then, he doesn't really do anything when he does get the ball, and it's just poor. It's poor. Like, we have got to now, cut our losses with players like that. Just he's an impact player. Play him as an impact player against tired legs. When he's got a job to do later on, that's it. Not from the start. I can't be dealing with it anymore. Bringing Asgard on as well. I mean, God, it's just he's not my cup of tea. That boy, unfortunately, but.
I wouldn't mind if he didn't just buy these players to replace them. That's what I can't understand. We brought these players in. Surely they've got to be playing. If no starting, when I thought they should be starting, to be fair. But if they're not starting, they've got to be coming on a lot earlier than the players that came on. And also no coming on at all. Roman's no featuring.
And
After the way he's looked at, I really don't understand it. Maybe I've missed something, but I don't get why we would change the team. And I don't get why we would weaken the team to play against a team that we had to beat.
well, we're paying the price for it now. That's 2 points dropped. You know, we're 1 point above them in second, but they've got a game in hand. You know, I mean, they're poor.
We keep handing it back to them.
They find ways to win at the minute, and we keep fucking dropping points. So
yeah, Mark Aitken's came in with a comment here. Rangers manager said live on Sky Sports, we've missed this. The team should be doing better and should be finishing games off. Said wanting. Can't read that. Something it's missing. Something it's missing for the text. I can't read it.
I think a comment here as well saying Rangers manager said got the team wrong. So, yeah. So if maybe he's owned up for getting the team wrong, you have got to learn this. This is now.
I don't understand that. The Rangers manager said they got a team wrong, but we knew that before the game started. Anybody that watches Rangers this season would know that was the wrong team. I don't understand how it took him 63 minutes to understand that he'd put the wrong team on.
But even then, he didn't change enough.
No,
he didn't change enough. You know, like he still left Cassandra on the pitch for far too long. You know, I want to see Romans get some game time. While Skorvol's not on the pitch.
See, the start of the season, we dropped that many silly points. We can't afford to keep dropping them. But we've done it again tonight. We got exactly what we deserved out of that game. In fact,
we got more than we deserved.
I'm glad it didn't happen. But if I was a Motherwell fan, I'd be probably quite disappointed that they never got the victory. They played for the win and they almost got it. And I mean, defending wise, I thought Suter did a really good game. Defended for his life.
He had a really good game as well.
Giga had a really good game. Tavernier played okay, but there was no threat and we were far too deep. I don't understand that. That was like watching Rangers playing against a top quality European side away from home that they really just want to come back with a draw. And I don't know. I like Danny Rowe. I'm completely behind him. But tonight, I think that's on the manager. I think he got that completely wrong.
Yeah. But we need to make up ground now. You know, we cannot afford to drop any more points. We have to beat Hearts at the weekend. We have to beat Livy the week after. We have to beat Celtic the week after that. We have to win these games now. There's absolutely no way we can drop any more points.
Also, because there's no room for sympathy of drawing with Hearts or getting beat with Hearts at the weekend because of a dodgy goal or bad luck or anything like that. That's all finished now. We're in a position where it's do or die. And unfortunately, we look tonight like second place in the league would be an achievement the way they were playing. I don't understand that. They didn't look like winners tonight.
They didn't look, no, exactly. And they didn't look like they wanted to grasp this opportunity. They look like they're scared of letting the fans down rather than trying to show the fans and everyone involved with the club that they're here for the long run and we're going to win the title. It almost seemed like please don't fuck this up. Please don't fuck this up. It looked like they were thinking that during the game. Like they're playing so safe. I was looking at Motherwell. Every time they got the ball, they wanted to pass the ball forward. Every time we got the ball, it was like let's be safe and pass it back.
And also, they've got no reason to feel sorry for themselves except for pressure. You create pressure when you play with Rangers anyway. But they've got almost the entire squad fit, except for Barron, who'll be back shortly, and Cornelius, who's a lone player anyway. But we could strengthen a wee bit, but in general, we've strengthened in the January transfer market and then decided that even though we've strengthened, we'll play the weaker team against a quality opposition. That's crazy for me.
That is absolute madness. But this is where he's putting pressure on himself now, right?
Oh, aye.
Even the owners are going to be looking at this thinking, how have we just paid all this money for these players in January to help you win the title and you fucking benched the majority of them, you know, and now we've dropped points. Like, I think
I can safely say that.
Things.
I can safely say that I reckon most people that watch this podcast will probably say the same thing. We have no idea. And I don't actually think the manager knows why he did it. If he came out with any comments, we didn't see it, so we don't want to say he did. But if he said he picked the wrong team, it's a bit late to know that now, because it was apparently obvious as soon as that was sent over to me, and I read the comments in our chat. Every one of our guys were saying the same thing, and then I was getting text messages from my brothers saying this is going to really inspire Motherwell that we're playing this defensive team basically.
Yeah, and that's what it was. It seemed like it was just try to. But I thought the midfield three would have more control over the game than actually did. You know, they were getting passed around. You know, what was the best player on the pitch in that first half until he went off? Obviously, I think that was like already a decision that they made before the game that he was only going to play 45 minutes. And I thought when he went off, I was like, thank fuck for that, because he was complete control of that midfield. You know, and over dictating the game.
And also, we shouldn't forget. With the last 5 minutes of the first half, I was just wanting the whistle to go. I'm wanting us just to get in, because I thought Motherwell were going to get the equaliser before it, and they would have probably been on and won the game if it was one each at half time. They were far more inspired. They were more aggressive. They wanted it more, and I think they were unlucky. I've not got any complaints at the result. I think we were lucky to get a one each, and we've came out of it with a point gained in terms of our play tonight. But it had to be 3 points tonight, and we've not got it. It's failure, and this is possibly what's going to cost us a chance of winning the league title.
Yeah. If Danny Roll keeps persisting with some of these players that we knew weren't good enough, and we thought were being replaced in the January transfer window, then we can't be shocked at dropping points. You know, we can't be shocked at dropping points when you're playing Gassama in these games. He hasn't got the mentality for it. He hasn't. You know, I don't get him. I don't understand what he's meant to be as a footballer. He's not, you know, he's not providing any value whatsoever at the minute. So bench him, play him as an impact sub. You know, when you 2-0 up and there's going to be space for him to play him then. But other than
that, back to what I said before the game as well, Fernandes, what you mentioned, Lewis mentioned that Fernandes gets a player of the month, and then he's mysteriously dropped. I know Chica had a good game, fair enough. But I don't understand somebody that's an aerial threat and a great defender who's on form gets dropped.
But how many corners did we get today? I feel like towards the end we got a few, but I remember thinking before they got their equaliser, like, we haven't really had the corners today that we would normally have. You look at obviously Queen's Park's a different game. Obviously we were on the
because we were so deep. We played the game so deep, and we invited Motherwell to attack us more, and they were good on the attack. They were really dangerous on the wings, and we struggled to counteract that. But in terms of a goal threat, how many chances did we realistically have where we should have scored? Apart from the goal,
Shimiti, and that was it.
And you wouldn't bet on that anyway. If Shimiti get that chance again, you wouldn't bet on him scoring.
Mm-mm. No, because he's not a finisher.
So what was the point? You know? I mean, is Naderi is he not ready? Did I not think he's ready to play? Because if no, then we maybe should have bought a different striker. But I quite like the big fella,
because he was playing for I know. Like throughout the season, he's fit. He's match fit. He's not like Scavolson, who's obviously only played a handful of minutes. He's been playing, so like he's ready. What's the point in? I know Shimiti obviously was doing well before his injury, but at the same time, he still had his flaws. He still wasn't scoring goals. He had that great second half against Celtic at their place, but other than that, he wasn't scoring goals. So Nadiri's come in. He scored 2 on his first start, and you kind of want him to kick on, but then by subbing him, it's like, what's the point? Let's get him playing, especially in a game like this when you want to get up the pitch. Someone that's gonna run him behind. You know, he's perfect for it, and he can come short, and he can link the play, and he can finish.
Yeah,
if you put Nadiri in the same spot that Shimiti was in, I'd feel a lot more comfortable with him actually finishing that chance.
A good goal, a good striker would have done better with one of the 2 chances, without a doubt. I think Shimiti. He never didn't try or anything. It's just not good enough to play for Rangers.
Quality, that's it. You know,
Yeah,
he
and that
gives
was
it a
why we
big.
bought it. That was why we bought in the dairy. I thought, but all in all credit to Motherwell. Played fantastic. They played us off the park at points in the game. They looked very dangerous. Their manager certainly knows how to put a team out, but I think we gave them far too much respect.
Mhm.
And I think Danny Rose came out and said it, but that one's on the manager. He got that wrong. I really don't know what he was thinking. Let's hope it's a bad day at the office, and it's the last bad day at the office, because due to the bad start we had this season, we can't afford to have any more of these.
No, this has got to be it now. This has got to be the last straw. You know, we cannot continue to drop points in this manner. You know, we're not home to Hearts on Sunday and think, because they are poor. Watching them last night, they're going to drop more points. Celtic
But
keep getting last minute winners.
they've
They're
just had
going to
a big
drop some more points.
they've just had a big confidence boost watching that tonight.
Yeah,
It's
but
all right saying they were poor, so were we.
exactly. I think there's just three poor teams going for the title. It's just who's going to be less shit by the end of it.
Well,
But
our argument was whoever buys the best in the transfer window. So we go out and buy the best in the transfer window and
we
then
don't play them.
don't play them. So that's just, it's mind boggling what's happened watching that tonight. We predicted it before the game, and unfortunately we were right.
Yeah, but hopefully that's a lesson learned for Danny Rowe, and it's not going to happen again, because it can't happen again. We play our best team. I think we're going into one game a week now for the foreseeable. So play your best team, and that's the end of it. Play your
Yeah.
best team.
If the
Don't
players are not fit
tell
enough
me
to play one game a week, they shouldn't be at Rangers Football Club. They should be fit
No.
enough to play the three. If you're signing for this club, you should be fit and ready to play every week. Barring injuries are different. But in terms of players that can't play two games in a week, or whatever, it doesn't wash with me. These players have been signed to play. They're no project players. They're signed to play now, and they don't appear to be ready. So I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know. When it comes to the Hearts game on Sunday, Roman's better start, Skorbolson better start, Nadiri better start, and Tucci again. I want him to obviously keep his starting place as well. So let's hope Danny Roll does actually put his best team up, because it's a massive game. We need to win. If we don't win, then oh god, then if we do not win on Sunday, that is it. I am not saying we're in a title race. I'm saying this team's a bunch of bottle jobs, and that's it. Because I can't do this anymore. I can't keep getting my hopes up and getting crushed, because that's how it feels like at the minute.
Well, I'll stand by what I said. I think all the teams at the top will take points, drop points, take points each off each other, and it will be a real close run in. However, we've done ourselves absolutely no favours with the Hibs game, and tonight we've done ourselves no favours before the game, before a ball was kicked, right up to the last minute, where Motherwell tried to get the winner, and we had a shy with something like a minute and a half to go. And we play the ball back to the goalkeeper. And I'm thinking, what are we doing here? And then the goalkeeper fannies about for another 10 seconds. That's the one thing about that mob across the city. They find a way to win. And all credit, we don't.
They get players in the box. Like, we funny about with it at the back. We don't put the pressure on. We don't keep consistent pressure on opposition defenses. We play it back the way too often. We release the pressure off on them. So
that's what it is, mate.
And this is it. We can, and when they had scored their last minute winner today, I couldn't give a shit. Right, I could not give a flying fuck what they do, because in my eyes, it is all about what we do. If we win our games of football, we win the league. Simple as that. But we aren't doing that. We aren't focusing. We aren't winning our games. We aren't doing our job. So we can't keep wanting favours from other teams, to try and help us out, to make our life easier. We've got to win every single game between now and the end of the season. That's got to be the mindset. That's got to be the attitude. The players need to start performing. This is when they need to perform. This is the business end of the season. If they're not going to perform now, they have no right to wear the shirt, because you look at the Rangers team from the past, title-winning teams, this is where they come alive.
You need to find a way to win. I agree with that.
And Pep Guardiola's teams, they always say, they might drop points start of the season, but they always perform when they need to perform at the business end of the season. That's how they win titles. We need to become that team.
Well, let's hope we're going to overcome this. But I've got an early night for me. I think I'm going to head up the road. I'm a bit pissed off, to be fair.
Yeah.
All credit to Motherwell. No taking anything away from them. I thought they were the better team tonight.
Yeah, and in my eyes, I think they're the best team in the league in terms of the football they play. You know, I think if they maybe they had a bit of extra quality in the final third potentially, because a lot of their goals come from Matuanisi, they could be higher up in the table and they could have more points on the board, because they are the best team we've played this season, that's for sure. But hey ho, onwards and upwards.
Aye, no worries, mate. I'll catch up with you tomorrow or through the week, and let's hope we get our act together and get back into it.
Yeah, for sure. Right. It's been a pleasure. Thank you all for getting involved in the comments, and what a frustrating day that was.
Disappointing, to say the least. Yeah.
Disappointing. We go again on Sunday. Sunday's a massive game. If we win on Sunday, I think the feeling will start to be a bit more positive again. So
have
a good night, all, and we'll see you on the next one.
Win, lose or draw. Good night.